Hi Scorpio, welcome to your July 2015 Tarotscope. It's Raina here. And so anyway, I'm going to be using the same spread that I used last month that I created, and I'm also going to be weaving in some astrological transits to be able to provide a more expansive view of what's happening for you in July. So the card that I picked to kind of show an influence from June, Scorpio, is the Three of Cups reversed. And this is a card, when it's upright, shows celebration and people just together, enjoying themselves, partying. In its reverse position, it's more on the self-indulgent level. So you may be over-celebrating. It could indicate addiction for some people, alcoholism or drug addiction, or food, sex. You wouldn't be interested in that now, would you, Scorpio? In any case, it just, makes me think of the reading I did yesterday for Virgo. And I picked for them the influence from June being the Temperance card. And I'm thinking that the Three of Cups reversed is the exact opposite of Temperance. And so what this suggests for those listening in June is to watch, how you're celebrating. You can enjoy yourselves and not go overboard. And to begin the month, we have a full moon in Capricorn at almost 10 degrees at 9:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. Capricorn is in your third house. So this lights up the area that deals with maybe siblings. You might hear from your siblings. There might be some kind of news about them that comes to light at the time of the full moon. Or it could deal with learning. It could be something to do with writing or communicating. So do you have a blog? Do you have a website? Do you have a YouTube channel? There might be some kind of something that lights up regarding that comes to fruition. You might be finished with a project related to communication in some way, shape, or form. And then in the middle of the month, on July 15th, we have a new moon at 23 degrees Cancer at 8:24 p.m. Central Standard Time. For you, Cancer is your ninth house, and this is interesting because the ninth house deals with publishing. So maybe at the full moon you finished a novel, and then during the new moon you published it. But in any case, Scorpio, this also could relate to something regarding a new course of studies at a university. Maybe you're enrolling in university, or you have some kind of post high school type of, maybe you have some kind of training. It could have a religious overtone to it, philosophical. It could relate to foreign travel. Maybe you're going to be embarking on a trip or a language immersion program. It has a very expansive feeling to it, being in the ninth house. This is the house of Sagittarius. So that's really interesting and cool for you. And the card that I picked to represent the first half of July was the Seven of Swords. And I looked it up to see what sign the Seven of Swords corresponds to, and I got different ones from different books. But in any case, no one said Scorpio, and I associate the Seven of Swords with Scorpio because in the Rider-Waite deck shows a man who is kind of like being really sneaky and looking behind him as he's leaving, as if he's sneaking out of some kind of a situation, leaving it behind but in a stealthy kind of way. And it could literally mean that you are leaving a situation. Maybe you're leaving one job and you're starting another, and you have to be quiet about it because it's in the same industry and you don't want to get blackballed. You don't want your former employer to find out that you're going to be leaving, so you do it like kind of undercover. And it could be that someone is conspiring against you. Hopefully you're not doing this. Hopefully you're not being a sneak in terms of plotting against somebody else. Because, Scorpios, when they are exhibiting the lower nature, can definitely be the kind that premeditate stuff. And it's funny because Scorpio is the best chess player, or one of the best chess players in the zodiac, because they can like plan their moves like far in advance. So whatever is happening, it could be as simple as you're going to elope and you just don't want people to know. It doesn't have to be a negative thing at all. It could be that you have to be discreet for some reason. But there's a feeling of you're moving from one location to another. It's not like you're staying put, whatever it is that you're doing. It might not be on the work front, but it could be a personal relationship. It could be like Julia Roberts in Sleeping with the Enemy, where you have to get away from some psychotic person, and you have to do it totally undercover. You have to plan in advance how you're going to leave that person and that sort of thing. So this card advises you to be on the lookout for anyone that might be trying to take advantage of you when you're not aware of it. And definitely, obviously, don't do that yourself. But also, it could just mean that it's a time when you need to be more discreet, that you need to change your location, but you don't want to announce it and make it public yet. Or that you're just... It could also mean that you have an urge to leave a situation because, you feel like you did something wrong and you just don't want to face up to it. But this card suggests that you shouldn't do that. You should face the music if you've done something that you wish you hadn't done. So there's all kinds of interpretations for it. I don't think it has to be anything bad, but it does... It's something that I think Scorpios know how to handle, whatever it is. You might even know what I'm talking about in June if you're listening. So, because it might be some situation that has been brewing for a long time. And most Scorpios would never let themselves get deceived like that, because you guys are way too suspicious of other people to ever, get the wool pulled over your eyes. So I'm not sure that scenario would ever come to pass. And actually, I think that if anything, a lot of you need to be more trusting than you are. But it's probably because you don't want that scenario to ever happen. It would, some of you have a lot of pride, and you're afraid of being made a fool, maybe, but that there are worse things in life than being made a fool. There really are. So the card that I picked for the second half of the month is the Four of Swords in reverse. And in its upright position, the Four of Swords shows someone who is kind of recuperating, resting, being apart from the world. And in the reversed position, it's like time to get back into the fray of life. Now, judging from the overall transits and everything, it doesn't indicate that you have been apart from other people. What this could mean is that maybe you are leaving a situation and you had to take some time out during the first half of July, and now you have healed and you're ready to proceed. And so in actuality, those two cards might be connected and they might make sense. Whatever is going on, there is a feeling of having restored yourself to some degree, and that you are able to resume your normal functioning. So some other transits that are occurring in the month of July for you. Mercury is going into Cancer on the 9th of the month, and there's that 9th house again. That 9th house is the house of higher learning and of long distance travel and philosophy, that sort of thing. So it really does make me think that some of you Scorpios are either entering into some kind of university level program, or you're just continuing it, or you're switching out to a different one, but you're really thinking about what it is that you want to study and going over the different courses of study to find the right one for you, if you've decided to change majors, that sort of thing. And Venus is going into Virgo on the 19th of July. So Venus is going from your 10th to the 11th house. So while Venus has been in Leo, it's been there with Jupiter, and that's great for career. So maybe this Seven of Swords is related to some kind of job promotion or change of job to a better job during that first part of July. And then it's going to go into your 11th house of hopes and wishes. So Venus in a house gives extra grace, ease of manifestation, that sort of thing. It's a positive energy. When it's coupled with Jupiter, it just makes it even more easy to have abundance. So that has blessed your career sector. Now Venus is going ahead into Virgo, but it will go retrograde on the 25th of the month. When Venus goes retrograde, you start to have people pop back into your life. It's very interesting how that kind of thing happens. And Saturn has gone back into Scorpio at 28 degrees. So for those of you Scorpions that are born in the final 3 degrees ascendant, maybe 27 to 29, you guys will probably feel this. And for those Sun in Scorpios that are born maybe the 23rd of October or 24th to 26th, something like that. And this will kind of revisit some of the crystallization efforts that were done regarding your new cycle that started when Saturn went into your first house a few years ago. You might have to kind of tweak some things, but it's supposed to be actually a very good transit to have, to have it go through your own sign. The only thing is that the fact that it's in Scorpio makes it a little heavier, because Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto, and those are not warm and fuzzy planets, and then Saturn isn't a warm and fuzzy planet, so it's all rather heavy. In Sagittarius, where it has been in the first few degrees before it retrograded, it's more light, and so it kind of eased up heaviness that Saturn exudes as a vibration. So then we have a blue moon occurring on the last day of July at 7 degrees Aquarius at 5:43 Central Standard Time. And Aquarius is your 4th house, so there is more family matters coming to the fore. I said that on the first day, the 3rd house with your brothers and sisters, and now It could be your father. Some say the fourth house is the mother, but let's just say family of origin. That energy is coming to light in some fashion. Your home. I find this very interesting because the card that I picked for the overall energy for you in July is the Ten of Pentacles. And it's really a prosperous card, Scorpio. It really is. It directly relates to inheritances. So I wonder if this has some connection to this full moon on the last date, which just so happens to be a blue moon. A blue moon is something that doesn't happen all the time. It's the second full moon in a month. So this might be a time when, if you've been waiting for an inheritance, it comes through, or some other property matters that are connected to the home. The Ten of Pentacles has to do with material security and family support. It's a very positive card, so I'm glad that I was able to pick that for your overall energy, because that might actually be symbolic of July for Scorpios. Of course, this is just a general reading. If you want something more detailed, just connect with me at rainamoon.astrology.webs.com, and you can see the different types of reports that I provide. I do money and love reports, as well as tarot spreads and things of that nature. And I hope you enjoyed your July Tarotscope, Scorpio. And I will be back in a few weeks for August. Have a good July, guys. Bye.